Everyone told me a dishwasher would save me time. They were right. What nobody told me was what I was supposed to do with the time I got back. Because I didn't rest. That's not what I did. The moment life gave me space, I filled it with another work, another career to organize, another task I invented just to feel like I was moving forward. From the outside, it looked like discipline. It looked like someone who had their life together. But here's what was actually happening. I was terrified of stopping because every time I stopped, even for a moment, I could feel it. The quiet weight underneath everything. This thing, I had been out running for months, so I don't want to face it, and I kept moving.
It's beautiful.
When we moved into this house, everyone said the same thing. You are so lucky, this place is so beautiful. What a fresh start. And they were right, I knew they were right, but underneath the gratitude, underneath the new house and the new chapter, I was carrying something I didn't know how to say. Living in Arrowtown had broken my heart. Not dramatically, not in a way anyone would notice. Just quietly, privately, the way you grieve a version of your life you thought you were going to have. I had imagined growing old there. I had loved that town more than any place I ever lived. And when we left, some part of me blamed myself. If I had been better, worked harder, have optimized my life in another way, then I didn't have to leave, because the main reason was the houses in Arrowtown were extremely expensive. So I didn't talk about it. I buried it under list, under task, under the very convincing story that I was being a productive person with a lot to do. This is my new kitchen, and from this window I had looked outside for weeks, every single time thinking I need to get the drone out. The autumn leaves are so beautiful right now, but I will film it tomorrow. One random afternoon, I stepped outside. A cold breeze hit my face. Not harsh, just sharp enough to wake something up, and I looked around and realized the leaves were gone, all of them, already on the ground. Autumn was over. I had been so deep inside my own head, so wrapped up in the noise I had manufactured, that an entire season had changed without my permission, without me noticing it. The bag never left the corner, not even once. I hadn't been living my life, I had been managing it. And somewhere in the gap between those two things, autumn disappeared.
Isthmus Peak track parking.
It was a random morning we decided to hike Isthmus Peak. It is a brutal climb, and honestly I hadn't hiked in months. Every step was heavy. I wasn't thinking about my problems or my past. I was just staring at my boots, counting breaths and fighting the incline. As usual, the mountain took my breath away for a completely different reason this time. The entire lake stretched out like a painting. I found myself wondering, how did I miss this? How had I forgotten where I live and how breathtaking this place really is? I haven't given a chance yet. We can see our little house, our town, both lakes, Lake Hāwea and Wānaka from the top. It looked unreal, to be honest. I actually found myself apologizing to this place. Somewhere along the way, I had become so caught up in stress and worry that I had stopped seeing what was right in front of me. And honestly, the moment I thought, screw this stress, screw the worry, it felt so lighter. So much of what weighs us down lives only in our head. The second we loosen our grip onto it, the world feels so freaking different. Standing there, I realized I had spent the last 6 months with my face pressed against one tiny corner of a painting, fixated on a single crack, a single disappointment, and convincing myself it was the whole picture. But it wasn't. The picture was always much bigger and far more beautiful than I had allowed myself to see. We came down from the hike and we went to pick apples. We were really tired, but I still had a lot of energy and my knees were screaming for some rest. But I really want to pick these apples to make some apple cider vinegar. This is not some kind of a work to do list. I think this is one of my strengths kind of therapy. I make a lot of apple cider vinegar during this season and these apples are really nice. Apple cider vinegar takes a fermentation process. You cannot make apple cider vinegar go faster by trying harder. You just have to let the time does this job. You set it down, you walk away and trust that time is doing what you cannot. And during this process, literally something became so clear. The things that I had lost, or maybe convinced myself that I had lost, the thing I had been quietly mourning without knowing it, was in Arrowtown. It was the ability to let a moment just be enough before converting into something productive. Here is what I know now and I didn't know then. You can be deeply grateful for where you are and still grieve the place you left behind. You can love your life and still feel the weight of the life you thought you were going to have. Those things are not contradiction, they are just what it means to be honest, and I think that's what humans are sometimes. Look at this. I don't take this for granted. Quite bright sun on my face. So maybe the question isn't how we save ourselves time, but maybe the question is what do we do with the time that we got back?